David and Christine, as you can imagine, this is a devastating loss for the family. Her dad, Barlow, was one of the last people recovered on Saturday. She says her dad raised her as a single father and describes him as her everything.
My dad deserves peace and more than just his memory being in a building.
Brooke Iverson is the only child of Norman Barlow, one of the 11 victims of the deadly Nippon Dynawave industrial incident. He was 58 years old and worked at the plant as an electrician for exactly 3 months before he was killed.
No one from the company let us know. We all kind of found out from the news. Facebook, social media, people calling to ask if my dad was okay.
Iverson says by that afternoon, she knew something was wrong when calls to her father just went to voicemail.
It wasn't until 5:15, 5:30ish that we found out that he was one of the missing 9.
She says her dad would travel from Vancouver to work in Longview at 3 in the morning. He was a hard worker, a humble person, and always willing to help others.
When I first found out, I was just hopeful that my dad would call at 3. I was just hopeful that he had been helping other people get out of the mess. That's all my dad ever did was help people and work.
Norman was finally recovered Saturday.
It hurts, especially considering that he was actively trying to leave because of how the place was ran and the problems that they had and the safety concerns.
Over the past decade, records show the state of Washington has taken formal enforcement action against Nippon Dynawave Packaging 18 times for environmental issues, with fines totaling more than $43,000. It is important to note, we don't know if any of these violations are linked to the tank in question, and the cause of the tank failure remains unknown. Over a week later, cleanup operations continue, with vacuum trucks with pumps removing waste and liquid set to remain on site for the foreseeable future. The union announced on Wednesday that pay for employees will continue through at least August 8th. But for Iverson and her family, answers from the plant and continued support from the community is what they're looking for.
Every family deserves an answer as to how or whether this could have been prevented. Nippon's time is coming. They're on a clock now. A clock of answers, a clock of what happens now.
So the family has a GoFundMe to help with fundraising efforts. Iverson also acknowledges all the support that's been coming from Longview and Cowlitz County and encourages people to go to those fundraising events so all impacted families can be helped too. Now, I reached out to the Nippon Dynawave today for more information about these past safety concerns at the plant, but I haven't yet heard back. But last week, we heard from a company spokesperson at a press conference, and when it came to questions about safety, he said employees work in a highly hazardous industry and they approach it with the utmost care, and he will let the facts speak for themselves. Back to you.
Celine Stevens with the follow-up. Thank you, Celine.